welcome to a brand new week on Afternoon Express. I'm Falisa Tembe, and today we're talking all about breastfeeding in the time of COVID-19. We connect with Seth Sihle, the founder of African Mama and Baby Foundation, to find out how they are supplying care packs to moms and newborns in hospitals. And we chat with registered dietitian Kelly Schroeder, who will break down the falsehoods around breastfeeding during this pandemic. And we're kicking it all off with TV and radio personality Lute, who calls in the loft to share all about her experience with breastfeeding her gorgeous twin girls. Now, we all have that number, ladies, and I'm sure you do too. So please do share with us on social media. We want to find out from you, what is your perfect number of children, if any? Happy Monday, ladies. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
What's your number, Toombs?
My perfect number of children would be 7.
Really?
Yes, I want 7 whole children. I want a soccer team. I want to fill them up in my car and take them. And when they disappear, then they all leave at once. And anyway, let's talk food.
Yes, I'm going to make a delicious vegetarian burger today.
Yes.
With cheese, vegan cheese. It's scrumptious. It's big. It is just delicious.
We are keeping it meat-free. And in tying with that, I'm also going to be making a meat-free recipe, and I'll be making roast carrot soup with a nut brittle on top. Guys, you definitely want to get your hands on these ones. So go on to afternoonexpress.co.za to get the recipe details. But let's catch up with the twin mommy, Lute Love. I'm actually interested to hear what she has to say.
We're welcoming Lute Love back to the loft. Sis, congratulations, not only on your new journey into motherhood, but you're making it look so darn fly. I mean, the swag, the combos. Even during lockdown, you've got mothers all over the country asking, how?
Mama, thank you so much. How? I've got an incredible support structure in my household. I've got 2 amazing, phenomenal women who help me every single day with these 2 little beautiful babies that I have. I've got an incredible team of women in a career space that are helping me navigate this life. You know, I've got my mom on the line 24/7. My little brother's also there. I'm just in such a great place. So how do I do it? With lots of planning, lots of help, lots of meditation, lots of prayer, and sleep whenever I can, if I get the opportunity.
So, girl, the last time you were on the show, you were a party of 1, but now fast forward to 2020, you're a party of 3. So what has motherhood been like for you so far, especially with twins?
It's been a complicated journey. It started off very hard. I really struggled with my pregnancy journey because I had initially planned to not have children. And so when I found out I was pregnant, at the same time I found out that I was having twins. So it was a lot to take in, and it took quite a while for me to actually adjust and be comfortable with the fact that I'm going to be a mother. And I think even post-birth, it took me about 3 months to settle into understanding that I'm a mom, becoming attached to my kids. So it was quite a journey, a difficult one. But it's getting so much better now because, it's so fun. They're growing up, they're saying words, they're playing, they're responsive, they say all sorts of fun, crazy things. And I'm finding my feet as well. Obviously there's dad as well, who was there supporting and walking us through. But I think when you're a mom, you really just want to be around women most of the time because you feel like they understand, you feel like they get it, what you're feeling. It's a very jarring experience. But it has taken some time, and I didn't sleep, and I still sometimes don't sleep. But the first year was quite overwhelming. But now I'm in a much better place, much more confident about, making decisions that I need to make as a mom, thinking about my kids, thinking about myself and where I fit in. And it's been a really empowering and a beautiful experience.
It's breastfeeding week, and we're chatting to mothers on their experience of breastfeeding. And for many women, it doesn't come naturally. What has your experience been like?
I struggled so much with breastfeeding. It's not it sounds beautiful. The idea of it sounds beautiful, but there's a lot that goes into breastfeeding, especially emotionally. It's emotionally draining. It's physically draining. You always have to make sure that you're eating a lot, you're drinking a lot of liquids, which can be very exhausting and jarring, especially in the first 6 weeks when you're trying to recover from your operation if you had a C-section like I did. So it's a lot going on all the time, and there's no pattern, and when you have 2 kids who want to be fed at the same time, and you kind of having to carry them like rugby balls and position them and make sure that they're comfortable and make sure one is latching and one slips off. You have to figure it out. It's quite an exhausting thing. And I remember the one day I was in tears. My mom was sitting in front of me and I was in tears. I was crying while I was breastfeeding because it was just too much. And the second thing that I struggled with was making enough milk for both of them. I realized that I actually wasn't making a lot of milk. And so we had to introduce formula as a top-up in quite early in their journey. And I had this whole idea in my head of wanting to breastfeed and wanting to connect. And I had this whole experience. And after some time, I realized I'm not enjoying this. This is not fun. This is not nice. This is painful. I'm crying. I hate the whole experience. I'm not enjoying it. And so I'm going to let it go. And that's what I did from month 2 going into 3. But I stopped breastfeeding them. I figured that, you know what, formula is fine. It works. We struggled with finding the right formula and eventually found the right one after having a conversation with my ped.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, it's okay. You don't have to breastfeed. I think every woman wants to, but you don't have to. And obviously breastfeeding has a lot of perks, you know what it does for the kids, the nutrients, the connection. But for me, it didn't make sense. And so I let it go. And you need to do what's good for yourself, because if you do what's right for you, you'll do what's right for your kids. You know, I did some interviews and I had conversations about it. And you know, some moms were quite upset at what I was saying, because I was just like, if it doesn't make sense, don't do it.
Now, you have said goodbye to Speedster and the hip-hop floor for a much earlier time slot on Metro FM. Girl, how are you dealing waking up 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.? And more than anything, how then have you kicked into the swing of things, getting back into the industry after the babies? And how are you dealing with all those activities?
The first thing, Metro FM, that time slot is absolutely perfect, especially now that I'm broadcasting from home. So between 6 and 9 a.m., the girls are asleep. You know, I'm downstairs. So if anything happens, I can literally run upstairs and help in the situation. They now wake up between 8 and 9. And by the time they wake up, there is, you know, one of my awesome ladies that's helping me at home, ready to help with whatever it is that they need. Waking up has never been a struggle. I think I've been training, especially now as a mom. You know, you always wake up in the middle of the night. They still wake up for bottle feed. So I'm really used to the rotation of having little sleep, but still figuring out a way to kind of get through the day. And getting back into work has been, it's been fun, but it's also been hard. Because I think what happens when you're a new mom is you become very unsure. And the things that you liked before you were a mom are not the things that you like right now. So I've really taken my time to try to figure out what I like, what I enjoy, which is part of why I left, you know, Absolute Hip Hop. It was just time for me to grow in a different direction. I want something else for myself. I've done what I've needed to do in that space. I've ticked off the boxes, and it was time for me to grow.
It being Women's Month, the month of August, and here on Afternoon Express, it's all about finding out what you want to hand down to your daughters. So essentially, what legacy do you want to leave behind, and how important is the role of a mother in society today?
The role of a mother is everything in society today. They are the center, they are the pulse, they are love, they are growth, you know. And for me, leaving a legacy for my daughters is beyond the material world that we live in, beyond career, beyond all these things that we want to build and tick up all these boxes. I think it's important for my daughters to know who they are and where they come from. I think it's important for my daughters to be in touch with their spiritual and cultural side. Those are things that I'm learning about myself, where I come from as my class, where I'm going. And I'm on a spiritual journey myself. So those two things. But I think it's important for little girls, especially, to know who they are at their core, to know what drives them, to know how powerful they are, no matter what the world tells them about themselves, and to celebrate being a divine feminine.
Well, Lute, it seems like it takes a long road to get there, because what you are challenging South Africans with isn't easy, but it is possible. We've seen you do it yourself, and we've seen you become this strong fierce to be reckoned with within the South African entertainment space. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on Afternoon Express. And please do say hello to the little bundles of joy that you've been holding like rugby balls there from us here. Goodbye, my love.
Thank you, Palisa. Take care.
Bye. Now, South Africa, there you have it. One of South Africa's sweethearts, Lute Love, sharing how she's been able to do it all with those two gorgeous twins. If you are a mother and you are hustling and you are kind of navigating the space of breastfeeding, please do head over to our social media platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express and let's continue the conversation there.
Oh, respect for that woman. To have a job and to have those gorgeous twins. And I'm so broody. Aren't they gorgeous?
They are.
I thought I wanted like 2 kids, but I think I've got like 2 sets of twins because they are so beautiful.
They are, and she still looks so beautiful.
Wow.
Balisa, I know you are going to maintain it as well. You're going to have those kids, but you're still going to be snatched, looking hot, looking... Where did the baby go?
So on social media, we kind of pranked South Africa. We've uploaded a picture of myself acting like I was expecting, but no, it is not April Fool's, but we were still pranking you. Unfortunately, I'm not expecting just yet, but you know, one day is one day, and we have been asking you what you want and how many you want on social media. So we've got 2 of our viewers, Utulfelo and Umpo, all agreeing that they also just like Lute Love, want twins. They want 2 children if God were to bless them quite happily, and I also think that that is perfect for me. I'm right there with them. I want twins.
You want twins?
Double up on the babies. Now we're continuing our discovery of these scrumptious, nutritious and environmentally conscious meals with Fry's Family Food Company. Coming up, we show you our mouth-watering balsamic caramelized onion burger recipe. Ooh.
You only have one skin. Nourish it and wear it bravely.
Welcome back, South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. When Fry's Food was started by Wally Fry in 1991, the idea of meat-free Mondays every week seemed beyond impossible. But thankfully, in 2020, we are all about eating more consciously, and considering both our bodies and the environment has become more of a standard versus a dream. On our menu today is some more meat-free magic. The Fry's Balsamic Caramelized Onion Burger, inspired by Dumi Ngoko, a wellness and health ambassador. She's crazy about protein-rich big fries patties and itching to show you just how easy it is to go from beyond impossible and enjoy delicious plant-based meals.
Hello everyone, my name is Tumi from Tumi's Wellness, and I'm so excited to be included in the Beyond Impossible cookbook. I absolutely love the new big fry patties. It's so cool how they contain 20 grams of protein, which is more than your average beef patty. My recipe in the cookbook is the balsamic caramelized onion burger, and I absolutely love how simple but delicious it is. So yeah, if you try it out, enjoy. It's incredible. I've been loving it so much.
Hi, Mzansi. It is Meat-Free Monday, and we're making this burger. Doesn't this look delicious?
It looks mouth-watering.
Isn't it?
It looks like a normal, any other kind of burger with meat, but just without the meat.
Yes, our floor manager just told me, Chad, he says, Anel, this looks like a normal burger.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to dive into it, but that is Fry's Big Burgers. They are amazing. They've got 20 grams of protein in it, and they taste and the texture is the same as a normal burger. Really delicious.
It really is, guys. I'm not lying. I'm not. This is the real deal, and it actually has got the texture. That's the one thing I just can't get over. That texture.
Yeah. And you get it in this beautiful packaging, and this is all recyclable, and it's perfect. I just drop it like that into my pan.
So not only is it good for our bodies, it's good for the environment.
It's good for the environment too. Yeah, and it's naturally cholesterol free. It's low in fat. It's amazing.
Apparently, you could lower your cholesterol by up to 24% if you swap out the meat for the plant-based.
And you know our veins don't want cholesterol.
No. I'm trying to not get that cholesterol as well, so I'm trying to keep it as low as possible. So this is the perfect addition to my pantry.
And the only secret to frying it is like a hot pan, a medium to hot pan, a little bit of oil, and you have to defrost it. You cannot just from frozen. It's not recommended that you do that. But that's a burger. It's already starting to go.
Okay.
So today is very easy. Tumi's burger is really easy.
Yeah, it is.
So it is just balsamic glazed onions. We've got the burger. We've got a vegan cheese layer, and I've added some lettuce. Now, to make the caramelized balsamic onions, you just add onions to a pot. We've got red onions here, but you can use any onion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. About a half a cup of balsamic vinegar. Okay. A bit of that went into that pan, and a bit of water. And you put that on the heat, and you just let it boil for about 20 minutes to form that beautiful caramelized onions there. And the thing is, you don't need to add sugar because the onions releases their own sugar.
Correct.
So it is like so tangy and delicious and sweet and sour. What are you doing?
Well, I also like, you see what you've done there is exactly the kind of burger I like. I like my burger to have levels and steps. You know, you go from one step in your life and you grow into a new step. That's how I want my burgers.
Yes.
I want levels on levels on levels. So I took from inspiration from some lady who I cook with, who was telling us about something called cheesas. So I stole that, and I've decided to use the vegan cheese for that exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up some of these hot and spicy ingredients I have here. I've got some jalapenos, I've got some picante peppers, and some gherkins. I'm going to chop all of that up, mix it in with the cheese, and that's going to go on top of the already...
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
Oh, wow. That is exactly my palate flavor. It's going to be hot and tangy, and it's just going to give that extra yumminess to the dish.
Yeah, I was thinking of you and Pali when I thought of this, because you guys and heat, guys. I don't get it, South Africa. Taste buds, do they not disappear at some point if you have so much heat?
No, we love it. It actually opens up my taste buds. It opens it up.
Hi, guys.
Look at this already. Can I just show the camera this? Look at that. How beautiful it looks already. It looks like a burger. And this is nearly done. It takes about 9 minutes to cook.
That's quick, eh?
Yeah, it's very quick. But this is like, for me, nearly done. So I'm going to start putting my burger together.
Okay.
So I've got it toasted. I always toast my buns.
Yes.
It just makes it so much more crunchy, number one, and more flavoursome. It adds a bit of caramelized flavour. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to first start with caramelized onions that we've made earlier. And these are so gooey and yummy. Look at them. They're like black and dark and
caramelized and delicious.
You know,
and
it's so expensive to buy this in the shops, the caramelized onions in a bottle, you know. This is so easy. This is about an onion, and I think this will cost you not even 5-6 rand if you really take all the ingredients into consideration.
Exactly.
For that. So I'm going to add a piece of cheese here. And then I'm going to add, you know, I like double burgers.
I know you.
But you're going to steal a patty of mine. I think that's what you want.
Girl, I mean, you know, since we are trying things and it's Monday and it's free, I need to taste and make sure that it is what it is, you know?
So I'm going to add another burger here. I will add, like Tumi does, for the rest of the burger, for the one on display, I added some lettuce. But I think you can add rocket, you can add chilies, you can add cucumber, you can add tomatoes, you can add anything. And then you just top it like that. Look at that. This is Tumi's burger. Look at that.
Well, do me, show me, friend.
Show me. She's got your name, you know.
Battle of the Beggars.
Here we go.
Can I ask you to put my patty there?
Are you going to... Oh, look at that. I'm dipsing that one.
She can't out-chef me here. In
do you want a piece
show.
of cheese?
Hello, who do you think you are?
Do you want to show you another piece of cheese there?
Yes, please, some cheese. And can I also have some caramelized onions? 'Cause
Please, please.
Even me, I want.
That one looks gorgeous.
Thank you very much. And here we go, doing what we do best, inspiring you guys to enjoy every day. Every day, every day. And that is it, guys. So making your meat-free Mondays marvelous is a breeze when dishes on offer are this delicious. Aside from enjoying the taste, you can rest assured that you are making a more earth and animal-conscious decision and inspiring change at the same time. To get your hands on this and many more meat-free recipes, head on over to friesfamilyfood.com to download your free copy of the Beyond Impossible cookbook. And a huge thank you to you, Dumi, for showing us just how quickly and easily we can enjoy a plant-based meal from the comfort of our own home.
Yum. Yum, yum.
My darling, I had you in mind. Palesa,
Come,
this is yours.
Palesa.
There's heat, there's texture, there's flavor, there's cheese on cheese, there's onions. Girl, I hope
you
I
know
made
how you were
happy.
asking Uguti, don't my taste buds burn off? I never, South Africa. They can never. Okay, I'm about to take a huge bite into this, but on social media, we have been asking everybody how many twins would be the perfect number, or rather how many children would be the perfect number of children that you want to have. And we've got Alison on social media, and Alison says, 2. I recently gave birth to my daughter, and I want my pigeon pair.
Oh.
How adorable is that?
So cute.
I feel you, girl.
Do you want a pair of twins or just twins?
I just want twins. I don't want a pair of twins because South Africa, that's 4 children. I ain't got the money for that, okay? But in Jesus' name, everything is possible. Okay, but coming up, we're going to continue the baby talk. The founder of African Mama and Baby Foundation, Usihle Masukela, shares how the foundation is supplying vital care packs to moms and newborns in public hospitals and what challenges COVID-19 brings to this. having a baby during this time of the pandemic can be extremely challenging mentally and emotionally as well as financially. We chat to founder of the African Mama and Baby Foundation, who supplies hospital care packs for moms and newborns. Sihle, thank you so much for repping this organization. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thanks. Thank you, Palesa, for having me on your show today and shining a light on the work that we do.
I'm very excited and I want to find out all about it, girl. So don't hold back. I just want to start off by asking you, how did African Mama and Baby Foundation come to be and what inspired you to start this organization?
Oh, thank you. So African Mama and Baby Foundation is inspired by different aspects of my life, particularly my personal journey into motherhood. I think as a normal citizen and as every other citizen, we're all aware of the socioeconomic challenges that are faced by so many vulnerable groups in our society. And when I became a mom, I think that's when my mission became as clear as day. I wanted to help contribute and help support other mothers from vulnerable communities. And these are mothers from rural, underserviced areas and mothers from township areas. I particularly wanted to assist these moms because I just saw the economic disparities between moms in urban areas and moms in rural areas. And it's just so important to also lend a helping hand to all mothers when they embark on and transition into the journey of motherhood, which of course is a joyous time for all of us to celebrate. But unfortunately, when you are faced with economic challenges and you are living from hand to mouth, it does dampen the mood and it does make it a bit difficult for those mothers in need. And so we just wanted to be a helping hand and assist them during that transition.
Now, Sihle, logistically, how does all of this work? How often do you supply new moms and babies with these care packs and what does it include?
Yeah, so we rely heavily on sponsorships and donations. So we, for instance, during this COVID-19 pandemic, we have been able to support mothers from different communities once a month. And we've had 4 initiatives, and on average that amounts to 1 initiative a month. And basically, these hospital packs that we give to these mothers are hospital packs that are filled with essential products. These are your basic products that the mothers need, such as baby diapering essentials, baby feeding essentials, and also we include some essential products that the mother would need herself to help her in her postpartum journey. And of course, now with the COVID-19 pandemic, we also include hygiene items that are necessary for the mom, such as the cloth masks and hand sanitizers. And of course, for the baby, we would include warm winter items because it's the cold winter months now. And we would include your usual diapers and wet wipes and diaper creams and body lotion for the babies.
And then to take this incredible work that you're doing on a national level, I mean, you supply all or most public hospitals in South Africa. Now, that must be quite challenging to manage. How have you and your team in each province gone about making this possible? And how do you ensure that the hospitals receive these care packs?
Yes, so we focus on underserviced areas. So we focus on those rural areas, township areas where there are mothers in need. So our focus isn't to supply all public hospitals. We rather try and target those areas where we know that we have mothers that are unemployed, we have mothers that are earning minimum wages. And so that's how we go about targeting these hospitals or targeting rather these mothers from certain communities across South Africa. And we are a relatively small team of about 6 members, and we have a footprint in the Eastern Cape, and we have a bigger footprint in Gauteng. So in the Eastern Cape, for instance, we have 1 member that leads the team, and we've been able to support mothers from rural areas and from township areas there. And then, of course, the most of our team members are in Gauteng, but we are able to also support our neighboring provinces, our neighboring communities, such as Limpopo. We have an outreach that we've done there recently. And so our objective definitely is to support mothers across South Africa in every province.
Now, having to deal with the two and a global pandemic in the middle, I mean, how has the lockdown affected you supplying these moms in need with all the regulations? And how are you keeping these vulnerable moms and babies protected?
Oh, thanks for that question. I will admit, at some point during this pandemic, we felt as though as an organization, we had reached a deadlock. We felt as though we couldn't make any meaningful contribution into the lives of these moms. And that's because our sponsors were unable to provide us with any baby products, for instance, because of all the restrictions that initially existed when we had the initial level 5 21-day nationwide lockdown. So during that stage, that was a very frustrating stage not to be able to assist these moms. But as the regulations have loosened a bit and we've been able to travel and our sponsors are able to go to their warehouses and provide us with the products, and we've been able to travel to these hospitals, because also the other restrictions comes from the hospitals. The hospitals have to ensure and obviously protect us. Hospitals are stricter now. Visitors aren't just coming in and out. Obviously, because of COVID-19, they have to have measures in place. We can't have volunteers and a bigger team of people going to the hospitals. When we do go to the hospitals, we can't interact with the moms like we used to. We can't hold their babies and like...
It almost feels like a lot of people just had to sacrifice so much during this time. But I love the fact that you haven't allowed it to slow you down. In fact, it's pushed you to be more creative, to think out of the box as to how you can still get these care packages to mommy and baby, but also making sure that they're safe and COVID-19 free. Thank you so much, Sihle, for your contribution. Thank you for all the work that you've done, helping us give back to these mothers in need through these very important care packages. We appreciate it. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sihle. Now, South Africa, if you want to get involved and help out to this incredibly worthy cause, head over to our Afternoon Express websites or our social media pages and find out how you can make a difference. Having a baby during this pandemic can be challenging and scary, and we thank Sihle and her team for being that glimmer of hope to these vulnerable moms and babies. To donate, please find more information on their website, and you can find out how you can contribute to this worthy cause.
That is one cause that needs a round of applause, actually, because that is amazing. I mean, being so selfless during these times and thinking, yes, I'm a mom, but there are other moms out there who are going through something even worse than me. I need to help.
I think what's happened as well during lockdown, it's actually made us more aware to give more, and that there's so many people in need. What they do is just amazing. Palesa.
The generosity, the empathy that people have nowadays, it's encouraging.
It truly gives you goosebumps, I think, to see it, to hear about it, and to feel it going around in the air. Now, speaking about babies and moms and newborns on social media, we've asked you, what is your perfect number of babies? So we've got Umusibo, who says 3. We've got Mam Shongo, who says 4. Vanessa here says 2. And we also have Unoma Swazi saying 3. But Lalela, guys, here's my big dog, Rachel. And Rachel says 4, 2 boys, 2 girls. And Rachel is halfway there.
Was there a Tumi that said 7 on there?
There was a Tumi that said 7. I don't know if she used the hashtag Afternoon Express.
7 is the number of perfection, if people don't know, so I'm just saying.
And it is a heavenly number, so who knows, Tumi? I know you already got 1. So hopefully you can also add some adopted babies in there and some inherited fostered babies in there. Now, as we discover more about how the coronavirus affects the body, we're slowly debunking dangerous myths. Coming up, we connect with dietitian Kelly Schroeder, who will give breastfeeding moms useful tips on how to feed your baby safely during a pandemic. Warm up your winter with Super M. Whether you need a morning pick-me-up, a midnight snack, or a study cram filler, buy any Super M. Follow Super M SA on Instagram or Facebook. Upload a photo of you enjoying a warmed-up Super M and use the hashtag #WarmUpFiller to stand a chance of winning your share of that 500,000 Rand in cash and prizes. The Department of Health and its partners, including ADSA, Association for Dietitians in South Africa, appeal to the country to fully support and encourage breastfeeding moms who are protecting their babies against many infections, including COVID-19. Through breastfeeding on demand, mothers also protect their babies' vital source of immune-boosting breast milk and help their babies thrive through close mother and child contact. Kelly, welcome to the Loft Girl. I'm so happy to be touching base with you today.
Thank you, Palesa.
There's been a lot of fake news over the past pandemic months. One of the most damaging falsehoods to emerge has been that COVID-19 positive moms can transmit the virus through breast milk to their little ones, and one should stop breastfeeding. Now, Kelly, is this true?
The short answer is no. There has been, the World Health Organization did cite a reference where a small amount of a non-infectious COVID-19 viral RNA was detected in breast milk, but there's absolutely no evidence that mothers can transmit COVID-19 through breast milk to their babies. So there's been a lot of misinformation around this and people thinking that they should avoid breastfeeding if they want to avoid passing COVID-19 onto their babies, but it will just not pass through breast milk to the babies. And breastfeeding is still very much considered the globally accepted standard for feeding babies. It's the best food for babies, and we need to support mothers through this pandemic to continue to breastfeed.
How does breast milk provide food security for babies?
Food security is about providing enough nutrition for a person to support their health. It also means that it's acceptable and enjoyable for them and that it's sustainable over the long term. So the reason why breast milk is so important now, especially during this pandemic, is because so many South African families are struggling with food security. There are food shortages that we know about. And as soon as there's any kind of impact to household nutrition, such as unemployment or even just a reduction in your salary, which we've all experienced, I think that food is one of those areas where people are cutting expenses. If you bring a baby into the mix, breast milk and breastfeeding is a wonderful, totally economical, completely free, highly nutritious substance. So it contributes completely to food security.
So then, Kelly, what would you say are your top tips for breastfeeding moms during this pandemic?
The advice now is consistent with the advice that we give usually. So mothers should know that breast milk is produced when there's demand for breast milk. So the more frequently a baby can latch and suckle, the more milk will be produced. That means that we encourage what we call demand feeding, which means allowing the baby to attach whenever they want to, day or night, and that will stimulate more breast milk supply. Another tip is that really breast milk provides all the nutrition that a child needs. So up until 6 months, babies do not require nutrition from any other source other than breast milk. Another thing to consider is that we live in a warm country and we have many warm days, even in the middle of winter. And you'd think logically that your baby might need more hydration when it's hot, but breast milk provides all of the fluid that your baby needs. So you do not need to provide any additional water or other fluids to a breastfeeding baby. So breastfeeding exclusively means that they're not getting anything other than breast milk into their system.
Okay.
Other than prescribed medications, which your doctor would give. But as with the normal coronavirus recommendations, hygiene is very important. So washing hands, keeping your surfaces clean, general hygiene is very important no matter what, but especially during coronavirus.
Okay. And then, Kaylee, what should happen if you're just too ill to breastfeed?
We do advise that mothers try to continue to provide breast milk for their babies, even if they are very ill. So understandably, if you're extremely ill and you don't have the energy to sit and breastfeed your child, then you could express your breast milk. Obviously, when you're breastfeeding and you know that you've been diagnosed or you've tested positive with coronavirus, the same recommendations apply throughout, where you should be wearing a mask. So wear a mask while you're breastfeeding your baby. There's no need to wear a mask if you haven't been tested positive. But if you have, wear your mask, wash your hands 20 seconds or sanitize them, make sure that everything is clean, but continue to breastfeed your child if possible. There are also other options. If you cannot breastfeed or you can't face it, before you just quit completely and turn to a substitute, try to express and feed your baby with a cup or a cup and a spoon. And consider getting breast milk donations for the time that you're unable to breastfeed. If your breast milk production does decline while you are ill, don't forget that it's possible to reboost your supply when you recover. So please don't feel like it's the end of your breastfeeding experience. Try to get the support that you need to resume breastfeeding if you feel like your supply has gone down.
Mothering babies and small children is often an isolating experience at the best of times. But now with the global pandemic and social distancing and staying at home measures, these feelings can be exacerbated. So what advice do you have for moms during this time?
Remember that you're not alone. There are many other mothers going through the same personal struggles. And while your experience is completely unique, there are lots of mothers who've been through it, who are going through it at the same time, and there are many professionals and organizations who can provide support. One amazing platform that's available to South African mothers at the moment is called Messages for Mothers. And it's really worth noting that it's been a collaboration between Grow Great and other NPOs like Ilifa Lavantwana and the Perinatal Mental Health Project. And they provide amazing resources and support and information that's all evidence-based and safe in terms of mothering, mindfulness, breastfeeding, nutrition, everything you need. So it's a digital platform. I really would recommend that mothers access that.
Thank you for that information and include in continuously adding to our knowledge, because as soon as we know what we're dealing with, we can be able to give the best to our children. Thank you, Kelly, for stopping by the Loft and sharing your wealth of knowledge. Bye.
Bye.
Please, may South Africa go over to social media. Let me know your thoughts and let me know how you are keeping up, whether you're breastfeeding or not, especially during COVID-19. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments.
I love the range of professionals that we get into the studio to talk about different things. Like this right here is something that I think is very important for all women to know. Breastfeeding is great for you and for your child.
I'm in two minds about it because I don't have a child and I like thinking like, you, like really? And I think a lot of people that don't have children think that way, but I think as a mother, if I was a mother, I would have done it, definitely.
Probably. Palisa, I personally enjoyed it because it was a bonding session between me and him. And then after some time, I was like, boy,
it's time
can Mama do her own thing.
Literal umbilical cord.
How long did you breastfeed?
I breastfed for 1 year and 4 months. I was hoping to push it to 2 years, but then life happened and jobs and work.
Wow.
And
so here's where we saw a situation where your career stopped you from having that bonding session with your baby.
But then I had to do what I had to do.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that, Dumi. I mean, on social media, please use that hashtag Afternoon Express. Now, what are we cooking after the break, ladies?
We are keeping it meat-free, and we're going to be making an amazing carrot soup with our clover milk.
Coming up. Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, South Africa. It's still Monday, but it's not blue. It's a brand new week, and what better way to kick off the week than with a refreshing recipe to get you going? Our roast carrot soup is the perfect recipe to make on this Monday. And to make the Monday blues go away.
Yes.
And warm you.
Take those Monday blues away.
We want to take the Monday blues away, Anel, and the only way to do that is with some amazing recipes.
Exactly, and made with love by Clover and by us.
Yes, in the blue bottle. Guys, make sure the bottle is blue. If it's not blue, it's not the right product. So to start it off, we're going to put in some butter, right? I'm going to melt some butter into my pot because we're going to start off our soup here. And before I became a chef, I literally only knew about 3 soups. I knew butternut soup, I knew the typical minestrone, and stuff like that. And then I became a chef and I realized that you could literally make a soup out of anything. This is a recipe. I started making carrot soup when I was in one of my first restaurants that I worked at, DW11 in Dunkeld West. And I didn't realize how great a carrot soup actually tastes.
I know.
So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make obviously this is a basic one, like we like to do on Afternoon Express, guys. We like to give you the basics and then you can add on your flavor however you want to. And obviously if you want to get the recipe details, just go on over to afternoonexpress.co.za and get cooking. So I've put in my onions there just to keep sauteing for a bit, and then I'm going to go in with some thyme. Because we like our flavorants there.
Thyme is such a good accompaniment for vegetables, especially carrots.
Yeah.
They're like married
Exactly, because they just soak in all of that flavor, because they absorb all that moisture from it and all the oils and the flavor from it there. And the one thing I love about this as well is that once it's cooked up, we're going to be using our Clover fresh milk. And luckily, because it stays fresh for up to 18 days, at least you know that your soup is also good.
Yeah, and it's creamy and it goes through 55 tests. My goodness. I don't even go through 55 tests.
And we're busy talking about breastfeeding and mothers and all the calcium and all that you need. This milk has got all those nutrients in there, exactly what you need to re-up on your milk supply. So it's actually perfect
and
for
your
that.
calcium.
On your calcium and all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in with some flavorants. Obviously, this is not in the recipe, but I've just added some. Because
what is
why
that?
not?
What did you add there?
I've just added some cayenne pepper because you want a little bit of a ting. And then I've also added a bit of cumin, because cumin is probably one of my favorite spices to use whenever I cook. And then in there, I'm going to go in with our carrots. This is a kilo of carrots. And this
you know
goes a
how
long
cheap
way.
carrots is? This is such an economical soup. A kilo of carrots is about 10, 12 rand. And then plus your milk, you can make a big bowl of soup or for about 6 people for under 20 rand. That's one thing I can tell you.
And the other thing is if you eat some of it today and you don't finish it, freeze it up.
Yeah.
And then whenever you need it, just to...
The soup always tastes better the next day. I believe that.
I
always.
actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you. And there's a saying with us black people, if you cook the following day, so the food tastes so much better the following day. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is. Because it just like mingles together. It like melts and mingles and all they're married together.
Oh, gosh.
While you're doing that, I'm making the caramel to put on top of it your caramel crackling. That is such a brilliant idea, Tooms.
Thank
you. I've just added some sugar and a little bit of butter in the pan and caramelize it. And then I'm going to add some seeds to it. I've got some pumpkin seeds here, sunflower seeds, and some linseed seeds. I call it flax seed. You call it something else.
Yes, linseed.
Yeah, linseed. So I'm just going to quickly mix this together, and then I'm going to turn it over onto our baking tray. And that's it. And you put that on top. It makes such a difference.
And the perfect part about it is you get all the nutrients from the seeds as well, and you've got that texture with the crackling, and it's amazing. So to let the soup cook a bit more, I've got here some vegetable stock, and I've got some Clover fresh milk. So I'm going to go in with the milk first. So what we want to do now is want to obviously make sure that the carrots absorb as much of the liquid as possible. So that's why I'm putting some vegetable stock in there, and then as well as some Clover fresh milk for that creaminess. But I'm not going to put all the milk in now, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have to blend this up and it's going to thicken up. So after you've blended it, you're obviously going to need a bit more milk. So you're going to blend it with the milk. So as you're blending it, put some of your milk in there. It's going to give you this nice, amazing texture. I want to
And if you don't have a blender, you know that thing that you use, that masher that you use for mashed potatoes. So use a potato masher. So if you don't have a blender at home, use a potato masher. It's going to be a little bit more chunkier, but it's going to be just as delicious.
It's going to be just as delicious. And South Africans can just see here this amazing soup that we have. It looks amazing. I've made it thicker because I like my soup thick. I like to dunk it in there and make it feel like it's a sauce, and you just go in with your bread and just...
You know what will be nice with this? You can actually put it at the bottom, and you can put your chicken over it, like a chicken breast or a cut chicken breast.
Yes.
It will have that. It would be like a puree, like a puree with a chicken. It will be absolutely divine, especially with that thickness. It's divine.
Yeah, so yes, we're keeping it meat-free today with the recipe, but guys, you're more than welcome to add if you want to add some bacon, bacon crackling, if you want to add anything, it's completely up to you. But this recipe right here is amazing, it's delicious, and it's quick, because you literally leave it to cook, carry on with whatever else you have to do for the day, come back, blend it, eat, and that is it.
And the thing is, if you don't have carrots, you can use pumpkin. And what I like to do is add a squeeze of orange juice in my pumpkin soup. It just like lifts it, a little bit of citrus. And even in there, you can actually just zest a little bit of lemon zest in there, and it just brings that zestiness into it.
Yes, I yes you.
Yes, yes me.
Now that's one way to freshen up your Blue Monday. To get your hands on this recipe, head on over to afternoonexpress.co.za for this and many more recipes, because we've got a lot.
This is divine.
Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk. Made with love by Clover. Ladies, I've already got the burger here, so come on in with everything else, because I'm ready to eat this Monday, South Africa. I'm hungry, but more than anything, and what I've really enjoyed about today, besides feeding ourselves, we're really connecting, touching base with South Africans, from celebrities to real-life citizens around the country, as to how they have gone about raising their children from, of course, conception all the way down to breastfeeding them.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the one thing I love about breastfeeding is that even though it might be seen as just a moment for a mommy and the child to connect, it does give the family time to connect. Because when you're sitting there with your child, you get to learn more about your children, but it gives the mommy time to rest. And so whoever else is in the house, make sure you take your time to help the mommies when they breastfeed.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and don't look at them strangely when they breastfeed. I think that is what happens outside there. Is like when you see somebody breastfeed in public, and it's such a natural thing, people stare at them.
It's crazy. Yeah, people do tend to judge when it comes to breastfeeding in public, but what's essential for people to remember that you're only feeding baby. Now, ladies, I've got an announcement to make. Are you ladies ready for my announcement?
Yes, ek is nuuskierig.
Tell us.
What?
So one of our family members has just announced about 7 hours ago that she is expecting her very first baby. So a huge congratulations goes out to Omosekela. Congratulations. I mean, she is just going to be the most outstanding mom. I can imagine it already. And what I love about Omose is that her, just like Lute Love, is a South African actress. She is full on in the entertainment industry, making her mark. But here she is saying, you know what? I'm ready to be a mama. Congratulations, girl.
Yeah, these girls just juggle things, you know, and I think it's great that they get the motherly instinct. They want a beautiful baby, and they juggle it. They don't put their lives behind, you know, their careers behind.
Because that was obviously how things were back in the day.
Yeah.
Women either were in the kitchen or doing the laundry, but now we are literally taking
it up.
Dude, we are changing it up, and that is setting an example for our kids and all the generations coming up.
I love that.
Ladies?
So before I say goodbye, I just have to read Keisha's comments. On social media, Keisha said, I got 2, a girl and a boy, plus my cat. So I got 2 humans and 1 furry animal, rolling eyes, laughing face. I love the fact that Keisha also added in her fur baby there.
And I can't wait for the 2 of you's babies to come to studio when you were.
I don't think there'll be much of a studio when Mike comes.
And also, on that note, South Africa, please do join us tomorrow as we connect with DJ Heavy K and music producer as he speaks about his little ones and his new love in lockdown. But South Africa, tomorrow's broadcast is from 4:30 to 5 p.m. So don't miss us. Until then, Mzansi, good night, stay safe, and happy eating. Cheers, ladies.
Afternoon Express. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.